Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
I am doing okay. I'm finally home from vacation.
Nice, nice. Where did you go again?
I went to Montana. Went to visit Glacier National Park and Yellowstone.
Oh, Montana.
Yeah,
Nice.
big fun.
Yeah.
I also have a small cough.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's either allergies or COVID, so
Oh no.
I guess we'll gamble.
Oh no. Oh no. Renu, I'm coming to see you in like 3 days.
Oh no.
It better not be. You best be testing.
I did test today, but it'll take like I won't get the results for 2 days.
I see. Fair enough.
Yeah. But my friends don't have it. I mean, the ones that like they took like a home test and stuff, they don't have it. So.
Okay. Well, you listen. Best to be careful. It's dangerous out there.
I know. It's like, how did we get it? We were hiking in the mountains.
Yeah.
So it feels like the same kind of tickle in my throat that I get when like allergies are like, you know, like pollen is like stuck in my throat or whatever.
Yeah, that's
No.
that's like I completely get it because like I also have been have been worried about that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like the other day I was like coughing and I was like, uh-oh, is it the COVID? Is it finally time?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Well, I don't have like a fever or anything like that. It's literally just this annoying cough. So, I don't know. It could just be a cough, but we'll see.
But yeah, I don't know.
This was my plan all along, to infect you.
No. No, how could you? God, what's going on out there? Right back.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Trist.
Hi, Trist.
How dare you come at me with those words? The wound is still fresh! The wound!
Mm. Oh, hi, Matt.
So, I have been playing, Renu, this is for your benefit and knowledge. I have been playing Final Fantasy XIV.
Mm.
I'm making my way through the first expansion. I finally made it to the expansion content.
Wow, you finally made it.
You know, after so many years saying that I would. It's good. It's really good.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Is it worth it?
I would say that I don't remember where you stalled out.
Oh, jeez. I don't remember where I stalled out.
I don't remember where you stalled out, but the story gets really good, like all of a sudden at the end of the post patches for the main game.
Oh, I don't think I'm anywhere near that.
Yeah, I think you were. Oh, you know what? We definitely got to at least level like 35.
Yeah, like I remember, like, I guess, like, I don't know, like I got to like. I think I unlocked all the stuff for like one class and I was moving on to another class kind of deal.
Yeah, I remember we did a level 35 dungeon that I don't remember having had to do again. Now that I think about it, that had actual like mechanics. Like it's what is it? What is it? It was like the ruins one, where you get the doom debuff that will just kill you, and a tank kept lightning to it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
It was you and I playing, and then like,
yeah.
and then this tank just like, I don't remember how to do this fucking Sunken Temple. It was Sunken Temple of Karn.
That was fun.
That was absolutely it. Yeah, that was really fun. But yeah, I am level 60 now. Making my way through the old Heavens Ward.
Making your way downtown.
Making my way downtown. Walking fast. It was not Brave Fox's long stuff, because I did that recently, sort of. Anyway, you ready for some Ace Attorney?
Woo!
We stopped like right here because this investigation portion went so long.
Yeah, I know. I bet it's wrapping up, but it was so heckin' long.
What is this place?
Madame Tuspels came to London from France 3 years ago, I understand.
I'm being drowned out by game audio. That is pretty likely. Here, let me just get closer to the microphone. I can turn it up a little too. I can actually turn up my audio a little bit just because so we dissolved the office and now I actually like live and sleep in this room. So I can turn the mic up without fear, I suppose.
Fear.
Fear.
Since she opened this little waxwork museum last year, it's enjoyed great popularity in London.
Also, thank you. I have to share my experience with the world since I'm not streaming. There are museums like this in Japan too, but these displays are something else. I mean, they aren't made from actual real people, are they?
The extreme realism of these waxwork models is a particular secret of the Tuspels family, they say.
Sounds like they're made of bodies.
They earned renown during the French Revolution for waxworks of victims of the guillotine.
Okay. Ugh. That sounds grim.
The gruesome scenes were portrayed with such realism in the expressions of the faces of the condemned. Apparently,
Normally, the sculptors would make the models directly from the corpses, right there at the site of the executions.
Ugh. Wow, that really turns my stomach.
That's just one of several legends about the Tospel's family. Whether there's any truth in it, I couldn't say. But anyway, this museum houses models of famous people from all over the globe. Nevertheless, the most popular area of the museum by quite some margin is this House of Horrors.
House of Horrors?
Of course, visitor numbers are dwindling now as a result of the Great Exhibition. But people normally flock here to see the exhibits of some of London's most vile criminals at their gruesome work. Naturally, most of the miscreants portrayed here were sent to the gallows. So they're even stiffer now than the models of them.
Have you heard of poor taste?
No.
No.
My dear fellow, the public live for poor taste. They yearn to be shocked.
So, the hideous exhibits in here are...
They're all portrayals of real events that actually took place.
Is it just me, or did the temperature in here just seem to drop?
Anyway, I advise you not to think too deeply about what you see here.
Oh, he's back to being a waxwork, is he?
Ah!
Thanks. So what do you mean by a temporary waxwork, Mr. Sholmes?
Exactly what you see. I'm part of the exhibits here, catching these criminals in the act.
I'm not sure about that. Catching them?
Every half an hour, I hone in on a different killer in one of the displays and adopt a new pose to ensnare him. When members of the public come for a closer look, I offer them my hand to shake. For a shilling, I'll happily allow them to take a photograph with us.
Us? Does he mean him and the waxwork murderers in here? But why, Mr. Sholmes?
My dear fellow, isn't it obvious? For the money!
He's broke as shit. Really roared at me there. Very fitting for the House of Horrors.
As it stands, I may struggle to pay this month's rent, and I have the ravenous iris to consider. Hey!
Oh my god, my guy!
Oh, Hurley, I'm so hungry.
Good, nobody can pay rent here.
Ravenous. If push comes to shove, I shall have to ask you to do your bit, Mr. Naruhodo.
What's she threatening to rope me into now?
Do your bit. Pay rent. So, with that in mind, how about a photograph? As a special treat, you may have your pick of the murderers and scoundrels in here. The choice is yours.
Maybe some other time.
Remember, Mr. Naruhodo, ignore me at your peril.
Back to being a waxwork again. Is it just me, or did his final remark there sound a lot like a curse? The blackmail isn't profitable enough, right?
Well, what is it you'd like to ask me then?
Actually, it's about Lord Van Zeeks.
Ah, Ah, our friend Mr. Reaper. How did you find him? Well, I trust.
And so I filled Mr. Sholmes in about everything I'd learned. About Lord Van Zeeks. About Professor Hairbrain. And about the strange coincidence that they had been at university together. So I'm wondering what it is that happened to make Lord Van Zeek such a different person.
I was sure that you'd know, Hurley.
You said there was something going on here in this exhibit hall before, that something was afoot. And that you believed it was related to what I wanted to ask you about. Mr. Sholmes? He suddenly clammed up.
Well, it seems we've reached the...
Greetings.
Oh!
Hello. Where did she appear from? What's she wearing? Could she look any more mysterious? Is she going to be like French? Is that what this is? Yeah, this is exactly pursuit to son. That's, you know what? That's fair.
Do it. French, go.
Why me? Why are you like?
I can't do French.
Yeah, okay, I see. I hope you are appreciating my museum. Sorry, have we? Mr. Sholmes, do you know that? Ow! Not again! My apologies. I am Esmeralda to Spells. This is my museum of waxwork. Huh? You're the Madame to Spells?
Woo.
Wow. Bien sûr. Though only 26 years young, I might add. Is that significant somehow? I'm a madame in name only. It adds a certain je ne sais quoi. Right. Firstly, I must apologize for my waxworks. Or rather, one waxwork in particular. That'll be Mr. Sholmes then. I was led to believe he was a great detective, but he seems unable to settle. Next time you move from your designated exhibit, you will be toil and trouble. Boop.
She sounds deadly serious.
That's a problem. How am I supposed to ask Mr. Sholmes about Lord Van Zeeks now?
Let's not forget what Hurley said before.
I will turn you into wax.
About something being afoot right here in the museum, I mean.
Yes, I know, but
I'm so curious. I want to know what's happening here.
we got enough on our plate already. Did you make all these waxworks, Madame Tuspels? I did. I am the third generation of waxwork artisans, you know.
Gosh.
It was my grandmother who began the tradition in my family. Our fortunes were checkered, living through the turbulent times of the French Revolution as she did. Though that is when she acquired the savoir-faire that led to the astonishing life-likeness.
All these waxworks really do look as though they're alive. In fact, they look more alive than Hurley.
What you see exhibited here represents the most atrocious of London's criminal past. All the waxworks were created in the presence of the real people on which they are modeled. In the hours immediately following their executions. That is the secret to the extraordinary life-likeness. That sounds terrifying. All walks of life have similar challenges, I'm sure. To carry out one's trade par excellence, one must go to extraordinary lengths. My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see. Ugh, why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying? Do not fear. Sorry? This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians, something for every taste, I hope. It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
Sorry, perhaps I should have eased you into things.
At the guillotine, yes.
What's the situation with, that? My Tempai Waxwak model. He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal. Oh, what sort of proposal?
My dear madame, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective.
Oh, words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective. It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it. Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we are unable to agree terms. Let me guess, someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services?
For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment.
Oh, words to that effect. Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch. He's like, pay my entire rent for the month, please.
Right, essentially.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. He was gonna house of wax himself, yeah. So he gave the current arrangement instead? Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he? I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50-shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning. Oh my god.
Oh boy. Oh, words to that effect.
It's the pawnbroker. That's what it is. He must have something to redeem.
Is the consultant detective work not going so well? I wonder, can I ask you something? Bessie? I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of incident, perhaps? Whoever suggested such a thing to you? Well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Oh, he's disappeared. I don't know.
A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade.
Ah! There you are. Leaving the exhibit again when you should be whacking.
Oh.
Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear Madame Two Spells, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Did somebody steal a wax guy? Why ever not? She's turned as white as a sheet.
Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings.
That's a lot of money, my guy.
My god, dude. Though please be aware that I prefer, no, I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us see if Secret Detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Before I engage my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something. What, pray, is behind the curtain?
That is the To Spell special exhibit. There's an extra charge to see it.
Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. It must depict a special killer then, I presume. Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder?
Oh, absolutely not. There's nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madame? What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain? How did you miss that? I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond, before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only as a con. What?
I must confess, I peeked behind the curtain earlier.
How much further down is 500 pounds and 50 shillings? I have no idea.
The To Spell special
Supercon.
exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed.
Did you know that we actually used to do something that we called SoupCon, which was when all my friends from online would visit me IRL every year?
What? I wasn't invited.
It was just sort of accidental. It just happened and we just called it SoupCon.
And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen.
Oh, where did that arm go?
What does strike one, however?
Oh, there it is.
There it is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor.
Well, perhaps, Mr. Sholmes. That man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself.
I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact.
It's true, you have to start SwanCon.
Ah!
What?
As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit.
Why? Why do you say that?
And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
She looks as pale as candle wax. I don't understand.
So, Madame Two Spells, as you've agreed to my fee, You shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective
Oh
and
boy.
temporary exhibit at work.
Oh boy, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's go.
The Great Deduction. The game is afoot.
It's afoot. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some 200 pounds.
That is all my money.
So what does this large sum of money reveal? Not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Miss Madame Two Spells. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale? Your business has hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of 200 pounds.
No.
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the 200 pounds. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of 200 pounds. Only when he came to hand the money over did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock.
He is too concerned about paying rent this month.
Yes, the killer in this special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not plagued with regret.
Sold for cash.
I gotta remember to introduce Renu to the Swanton bomb wrestling move. What is that? The question that the question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Is it a move I can do to Soupy?
Oh God.
Monopoly lost his monopoly and keeled over. Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief, such as is worn by policemen as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetuated. The Renu takedown.
Oh God.
Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards.
But
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork.
but you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe! The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. Threepence? A tragically low price, you might say. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks riddled with cracks. And yet you sold it to the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behavior that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
I do not...
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit, and not a moment too soon.
This is going a lot longer than expected. It always goes longer than you expect.
Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
Cool. Bro, she's ready.
I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley. You have.
Uh-oh.
And you obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes.
Ah, the notorious Naruhodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow.
According to your deduction, then, the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it?
The killer policeman, Otter Mole.
Sorry?
It was a mysterious set of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out that the culprit was a policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Ottermole.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be?
Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well.
But is 200 pounds a lot of money for a waxen model?
It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective.
So, it is quite a lot then. Is there anything else you wish to add? Before I melt you down? Public wax is looking more and more ominous.
The smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's all right, to make some minor corrections to the great detective's great deductions.
Of course it's all right. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tuspels vents her anger.
Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. I love that he's looking forward to it.
Anymore.
So you do it.
He just says the first thing that comes to mind, and he's like, you know what,
Yeah.
someone will help me out.
So, Madame Tuspels, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work.
Course correction. Hold it, Mr. Sholmes.
Hold it, Mr. Sholmes.
Okay, before we continue this, I am going to be right back so that I can turn my laundry over.
Okay. The deduction so bad Iris has abandoned you to a waxy fate. Yes. She ain't taking the fall for that. She's a smart little girl. How was the trip, Swan? It was great. I got in at like past 3 a.m. last night, and so I was very tired, and I slept in a lot. And then I wanted to stream today, right, to make up for Friday, not streaming on Friday, but I just had a lot of stuff to do today, and basically by the time we got done, it was like 9 p.m. And then we start Ace Attorney at 10 p.m. my time, and I was like, that's not enough time to do a stream. Yeah, the trip was really, really good. Went to a couple national parks with my friends, that kind of thing. Spent a lot of time with no service outdoors. 2 streams a day is ambitious. I thought I could at least like start like around 6 p.m., you know, and like having like a nice little like 4-hour stream, something like that. But yeah, it did not happen. It did not happen. But since we had like a little like time, like a little hour before this stream started, my roommate and I made this like so Cole and I made a nectarine moonshine.
Ooh, that sounds
Well, we
fun.
didn't make the moonshine because that's obviously illegal,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like we bought like a moonshine thing from was it Specs? They had like a little bottle of like the pre-made moonshine stuff. It was like
Sure.
it had like peaches in there, so we were like, let's make it with nectarine, like I like actual nectarines, and so we blended it all together and some types of juices and stuff, and it's good.
You getting litty? Is that what's going on?
It doesn't have that much in it.
Okay. My laundry wasn't even done, so someone else is
Oh.
gonna flip it. It's fine.
Oh. The answer is real, baby, baby. I don't think either Cole or I have a very large alcohol tolerance, so we don't normally drink.
Yeah. I definitely drink quite a bit less than I used to.
Yeah, I feel like you probably even now still have a higher alcohol tolerance than I do.
That's probably true. She definitely looked in this direction. It's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for £200.
The college roommate who tried to make moonshine and a weird kid under his bed.
Oh.
I don't trust that one bit.
Did it work out?
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. But it sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway.
Anyway.
I wonder if the 200 pounds could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything that could explain it.
Waxworks for sale. Would anyone really buy models of mass murderers? Yes.
Mm-hmm. I think I'd rather have £200 in my pocket.
He bought some sort of gimmicky kid online and thought he could ferment alcohol under his bed. I guess? Like, that, okay. So this is the thing, right? Is that, like, making alcohol is just like one of those things that you just have to be pretty careful about, because if you don't disinfect things properly, you'll get botulism. You can do it; it's just like a prison thing. Yeah, correct. It is. There is in fact a thing that they call, I think, like prison wine or like prison moonshine or something. And basically, what you do is you just shove a bunch of like fruit, usually from like fruit cocktails, like those pre-prepared like sugar fruit cups. You put it in a bag and you mash it all up and you like hide it somewhere warm. Like I think the place people usually put them is the tank of the toilets in their cells.
There's no way that is sanitary in any.
Well, okay. To be fair, like the tank of the toilet, right? The actual back of the tank, that's totally potable water. People just feel icky about it because it is part of a toilet.
Okay.
It wasn't even close. He said it was sweet when they took it out of the jug thing. Ooh. Oh, no. That sounds so dangerous. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It would have to be a whole thing. Big danger. Yeah, fermenting stuff is like cool and good and stuff, but like making alcohol is like another sort of level of like, you've got to let it go for so long that it really has the potential for, especially if you didn't clean things properly, it really has the potential for really nasty bugs in there. Somehow he didn't get botulism. You know what? Count your lucky stars.
Wow.
Some people have all the luck out here. This is why, like, most traditional preparations, at least nowadays, people just kind of like throw in already pre-made alcohol because it'll just like kill whatever's in there. But it's like my grandma made some plum wine for me, which is to say she gave me a jar full of alcohol and plums and sugar, and it's gonna ferment for 6 months.
Whoa.
The plum wine, yeah. Anyway, exactly. You could buy one of those brand new types of steam carriage, or so I hear. That's what I'd spend it on if I had it, no question. You can't drive.
Ooh, I'd buy all the herbs in the world. Herbs in the world.
There must be another explanation for the money. We need to keep looking. What else is that? I mean, I think this portly gentleman is the only other thing over here. It seems this well-dressed gentleman is alive after all. Just not alive and kicking. And he's not a waxwork or a model of a mass murderer.
I'm not sure I'd pay £200 for him.
I don't think the man's up for sale.
Well, anyway, it was a silly place to put him. Other museum visitors could easily trip.
I don't think the man was put there on purpose either. Oh.
Hello?
What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh, yes, let's see. Dear Madame Tuspels, we've taken the prisoner from this room. The price for his safe return is 200 pounds. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October.
What?
Bro, the wax model got fucking ransomed.
Wow! He got kidnapped.
This is it's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly. A ransom note, you say? Man, I will say there was a lot of stuff I got up to in the dorm rooms.
Yeah.
Just like trying to make anything edible in the dorm rooms was just a challenge. You know what? Actually, that reminds me. There was one of my not one of my roommates, but one of my hall mates. Like literally the dorm across the hall from me. Like the door that was facing mine. There was a guy in that dorm. There were actually a couple. So there were a couple guys in that dorm. One of them was someone who eventually became my roommate the next year. But one of the other people in that room was a guy named Gabe who had dropped out of culinary school to come to my school, and it was really funny because he had a rice cooker in his room, which makes sense. But he also had a griddle, like an electric griddle.
Okay.
So like, you know, after the dining halls close, when you're in the dorms, like you can't really get food unless you like get stuff delivered or whatever. But we're all poor college students, so you can't do that. You can't do it all the time anyway. So he would make in his room rice, and then he would fry up some Spam and eggs. And I just ate that all the fucking time because that was what you could eat at 2 a.m. when Gabe was awake.
Wow.
Oh, hi T. We're hydrating.
Gee.
I'll have you know I have actual water this time.
Wow.
I bought these great water bottles at Costco. They're basically knockoff hydro flasks. And it's just like a 40-ounce like insulated bottle, which is great. Because it holds a lot of stuff. It stays cold forever, and it's dishwashable as fuck.
Wow.
It solves basically all my problems with water bottles in one go, which is I hate cleaning them. I hate cleaning them, and when you have a water bottle that is not dishwashable, you have to wash it by hand, and when it's not insulated, you have to wash it by hand every day, basically, to prevent gross microbes. Oh, we're hydrating again.
Again. Let's go.
But
Hi,
because
Brandon.
but because you can just like pop a bunch of ice in a water bottle that's insulated, it will hold below the like danger zone temperature for much longer. So you can keep water for like 3 days probably before you get like any actual microbial growth. Obviously it's ideal to just clean it every day, but I think it's really not necessary with an insulated one if you're not drinking hot stuff out of it. But anyway, so yeah, I've been drinking a lot more water recently.
Water.
The significance of the 200 pounds is revealed by that ransom note. One of these days you want to have Kamen Rider movie thoughts with it, but it's not out yet. Yeah, it is not out yet.
Ah.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Yeah. We should get the gang back together to talk about it.
Yeah.
We can talk about it with you and you already. We can do that for our podcast or yours if you want.
That's true. Could have our pick. Yeah.
Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness, abducting our waxwork. 200 pounds is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it. Fill your days with Kamen Rider, the first movie thoughts. We've been on yours, so you have to be on ours? Yes! Visit each other's houses.
True. The model in question has special importance, so I put all the money I have.
In summary, then, the 200 pounds you have in your handbag is ransom money. Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor?
Also, I know we've glossed over this, but I think that is one of the jurors.
You're right! It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock. The cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets with Bam.
So if the waxwork was kidnapped, what does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes round.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris. all right, Ryunosuke.
Yes, you're right. Hurley's trying so hard. We mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Dispel's trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around.
Hmm? Ah!
This is just Madame Tuspel's right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand after all. What? Welcome back to the Women Respecting Club.
Shut. Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well. Look.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
Did you poke it? You mean it's made of wax? A wax hand? Bro, did she hit him with the wax hand?
Let's go!
What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand.
Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. Let's go!
Bro, she fucking took it to task. Oh my god.
Let him have it.
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that, in fact, it's a left hand.
And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madam. It is the hand of a waxwork model.
Fuck, dude. This is a
jeez.
weapon. Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. The metal with the exhibits cause damage. So you mean that arm? Yes. This gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake.
whole branch of a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms. I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back.
And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious.
He's fucking dead.
A point we may need to revisit later. But for the time being, we have our conclusion.
You thought he was murdered? No, he's alive.
Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped.
Bronk. Solved. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective's nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from Madame Dispel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' deduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. What the? The man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Ah, well, that settles that then.
Right, this isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Oh, of course. That ties in with what we just found out. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub.
No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that, I can assure you.
You love how blatant the conclusion always is once you read it. I know, right? So funny. Excuse me, can I get my humans boneless?
Boneless. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant Clay, is in fact, defying all odds, a waxwork model.
Feels like her, like only she's in 2 dimensions. Does feel like that, doesn't it? He's playing like 2D Ace Attorney, and we're playing 3D Ace Attorney. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholmes. He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally. What other explanation could there be?
And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it?
Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage.
A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. It's a very low price, though. 3 pence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Girdip's delightful lodgings, in fact. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman honorable? Really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
Bro, he's alive. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch.
Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard.
Slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then.
And there you have it. Well, Madame Two Spells?
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come in the first place. He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag about showing a price of 3 pence?
No doubt the price tag of the muffler, which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume you've observed the scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway. Of course, because as you know, there has been just such criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, detective.
So it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth.
The waxwork of the especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped.
And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes's great deduction of this horrifying puzzle.
Still a mystery. Deduction complete. Still a mystery. Solved! All sorts of people visit my museum here. Men and women, young and old. Sometimes they drop in just for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway. Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
Girl, you were ready to bury him in wax the first time. It was a pleasure, my dear madame. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. Does he know what a Z-axis is?
I think there's been no proof that he does.
And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxwork from the special display. If it was indeed genuinely abducted,
Yes, tragically it was. We should watch House of Wax? Why?
Then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. In as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel. But as you wish.
Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please. Oh god. I'm gonna be turned into a wax statue for not bringing pickles with me. It was some days ago now when I came in here one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here.
Man.
It is your most prominent display. So, that's why the curtains were closed.
And I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during the night and taken it then. I am bringing you a coaster. It's in my backpack.
A coaster.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose?
Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a more profound scar on society than any other, I would say. The Professor. Not a name I've heard of.
So, Mr. Naruto, it seems the circle is complete.
Sorry?
The Professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital.
10 years ago.
Yes, at exactly the time that Barak von Zieks graduated from university, in fact.
What? Surely he's not saying...
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life.
As you've surmised, it was the Professor case.
Who was this professor then? It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror decades ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death. And before the professor's Japanese, absolutely that's what happened.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction.
But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zieks?
You must first understand, my dear fellow, why is it that the Professor earned such infamy?
Wait. Is Barak Van Zieks supposed to be? Because I was thinking about how you would pronounce that in Japanese, and you would pronounce it really similarly to Baroque.
Baroque.
Baroque Van Zieks.
Baroque.
Baroque. Baroque Van Zieks.
It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy.
Oh, damn. That's... Listen, serial killing is bad, but that's kind of praxis, though.
Members
Oh,
of the nobility, even royalty. It sent shockwaves through the country's administration.
Down with the monarchy. Hell yeah. Members of the... Oh, wait, of course. What Professor Harebrained said. Lord Van Zieks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh gosh!
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest.
Bro, it's gonna be his fucking dad or something. It's gonna... Van Zieks is actually Batman.
The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of Clint Van Zieks.
No. I don't believe it. Van Zieks?
I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Beric pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually became the Reaper we know today.
I had no idea Lord Van Zieks had such a tragic past.
Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter, for the time being at least. After all, we have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit.
I'm not sure about that one, Chief. I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well. Oh, yes, of course. It has been a pleasure. Thank you. Too bad it wasn't Rococo Van. Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here.
Oh,
It's been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Beric. It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places. I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Asman. I just can't. I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow the court will decide. Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it. I must warn you. Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be the prosecuting, aren't you? Yes. Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories. Beric, are you really... What? Never mind. I know that you have my best interests at heart. My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else. Of course, I fully understand. Thank you, Beric. Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. Is he his own twin brother?
hmm.
Oh my. Okay, let's take a little burb so that I can pee.
Okay.
Burb.
He's gonna murder you, bro. He's his own twin brother, or was he? And now he's killed his own brother. I'm gonna go with my telenovela heart on this one. Being the car accident case. I think we're pretty closely straddling the line of Edgeworth's backstory, right? Because Edgeworth had his dad passed away, and then he became a prosecutor. And you know, whatever. But in this case, it's Van Zieks' older brother who died, and then he became a prosecutor. These prosecutors, man. Man, I can't wait for the Apprentice reveal, dude. I'm gonna lose my effing mind. What you're saying is that Edgeworth is Batman. Yeah, Edgeworth is Batman. Yes. He's rich. He's got that part down. Duella Dent.
Mr. Van Zieks, you got some trauma to unpack. I got myself some more food because when I ate first, I was not that hungry, and now I'm hungry.
Huh?
Okay, let's see. But Ace Attorney. Oh.
23rd October, 8:52 a.m. The Old Bailey, Defendant's Antechambers.
I can't believe it's been 6 months since I was last allowed to work in court. Oh, I forgot about that. Now here I am, back at the Old Bailey. Ah, Mr. Naruto. Good morning, Professor Hairbrain. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense. The atmospheric pressure in here is off the charts. I've never felt anything like it. It's crushing me. I feel it every time I'm here. That gravity. Well, this is Britain's highest court. But are you telling me it's fitted with some kind of device that can actually control air pressure? I think it's probably all in the mind. Ah, yes, well, you won't let me down, will you, Mr. Naruhodo? I'm counting on you in today's trial to save my life. To save the secret of my super high voltage instantaneous kinesis machine from being made public. Yes, I understand. I know what I have to do. I have to establish that the explosion 2 days ago was nothing more than an unfortunate accident. Well, I'm sure there's nothing to worry about, really. Justice will prevail. My commiserations, Mr. Naruhodo. You appear to have been lumbered with a most tiresome case here. There he is.
Oh.
Mr. Sholmes! I didn't expect to see you here.
So weird seeing your client call Van Zieks a friend. Someone's got friends with vampires.
That was very mean, Renu. Leaving me alone at home with Hurley.
What do you mean? Oh.
It took me at least an hour to wake him.
Is it? Are you? Sherlock Sholmes!
Indeed, sir. I am he. Sherlock Sholmes.
Oh, I've heard all about your exploits even whilst living in Germany.
Ah, yes. Rant's magazine is on sale in Germany too.
This month's installment was sublime. Introduction and the adventure of Silver Blaze was wonderful.
Ah, yes, a memorable case indeed. It concerned a snake, I seem to recall. Mm-hmm.
No, that was the speckled band.
Could be Dr. Frankenstein for all we know.
I know, honestly. Well, thank you for coming. I do appreciate your support.
I'm sorry to disappoint you, my dear fellow, but I'm afraid I can't stay.
Oh.
I have urgent business at Madame Tuspel's.
You mean your waxwork job?
No, the waxwork abduction, of course. Madame has engaged my services. Time to pay rent!
Get that rent! Get that rent! Oh, so you're trying to get to the bottom of that ransom note, are you?
This week's wages depend on it, as does the safe return of the waxwork, naturally.
Yeah, he's trying to make rent.
As such, I intend to give it my undivided attention.
Oh, well, never mind then. I understand.
Of course, with my skills of observation and reasoning, resolving the matter will be as easy as proverbial pie. I shall return forthwith. For until I solve the case, I shall have no money to afford a pie of any description.
Oh, Sholmes.
Oh, then you must absolutely give it your full attention, Hurley.
Wait, one sec. Oh. So funny. I normally have to make announcements to the other employees, but this time somebody else did it, and they responded, "Thanks, Josh." And they were like, that's not me."
It's still you.
And I was like, that's not me. I didn't make this announcement. I know I usually make the announcements, but I didn't make it.
Quite, Iris, quite. But life is riddled with irony, you know. Whenever I give something my full attention, I have a quite insatiable desire for a pie. One of the universe's intractable mysteries, you might say.
Every account is me now? Yeah, apparently.
Yeah, if an announcement is made, it's you.
Oh yes, quite, definitely, absolutely, I totally understand. Is someone a little starstruck?
I wish you the very best of luck, Professor Hairbrain.
Oh, ooh, why, thank you.
Ooh. Before I depart, Mr. Naruhodo, a word in your ear, if you please.
What's this about?
As you have remarkably little grounding in science, I feel I ought to inform you. As compelling as this super high voltage instantaneous kinesis hypothesis may be, a practical implementation, such as was attempted by the professor at the Great Exhibition, is quite impossible.
But the professor said the demonstration was a success.
Yes, it would appear that he fervently believes it was.
I read Professor Bunnybrain's paper about it too, Reno, and I have to say, I'm sure it can't be done. It could barely be done theoretically, let alone practically.
So he's completely barking up the wrong tree? But how can an experiment that had no possibility of succeeding in fact succeed? That's contradictory.
And if that's contradiction, and it's that contradiction that will be at the heart of the trial, I've no doubt.
What's that supposed to mean?
Now, I must hurry along. I wish you the best of luck, my dear fellow.
See you later, Hurley. Well, it looks like you're on your own today, Runo. But chin up, you can do it.
Makes no difference to me. What about you, Iris?
No, I'm afraid I can't help. I have something I need to do.
I see.
It's going to be a big surprise for you when you find out what it is.
That sounds ominous.
Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court is about to be in session. Make your way into the courtroom at once.
We're on our way. Okay, I'm gonna put this plate away real quick. Juror number 4. Which one's juror number 4? An experiment that the laws of science say can't possibly succeed. And a scientist who's convinced that it did. It's the riddle you have to unlock here, Minister. It's the key to this case.
Not to worry. I, Mr. Gerda, am here to assist you in your defense, as I once did back in the army when I was court-martialed. Yes, well, let's get to it then. 23rd October, 9:10 a.m., the Old Bailey courtroom.
Oh my god, look at this fucking jury.
I'm well versed in small claims court as well. I'm quite familiar with it.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We are sitting today for the public trial of Professor Albert Harebrain.
No tenant has successfully claimed their deposit yet, let me tell you. Just you try it.
I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. This man.
Prosecution is ready.
Before defense is ready, my lord. I'm 6 months out of practice. What's more? Just didn't. I'm without Susato-san today. Ugh, is it just my imagination, or does the air in here feel even more oppressive than usual?
Aww. All alone.
So, I must say, I recollect the victim of this case all too well, Mr. O.D. Osman.
Mr. Asman was well known as a financier, though that was merely a front for his diverse criminal activities.
It was only a month ago that the man appeared in court prosecuted by you, Lord Van Zieks. But the jury unanimously found him not guilty.
Because every member of the jury had been bribed by the sound of it. These powerful London criminals are prepared to go extreme lengths to keep their freedom.
But 2 days ago, on 21st October, Mr. Osman met his end. The work of the Reaper, was it?
Your Honor, I didn't do shit. Bitches got no evidence.
Oh!
If that is how your lordship would describe divine retribution. But the fact remains that Mr. Asman's death was a direct result of the actions of the accused, Professor Harebrayne.
Very well then. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you have been selected at complete random to represent the will of the people. Are the 6 of you ready to fulfill your societal duty?
Oh god, look at this guy. He looks like a fucking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure character.
Give him the Dio voice.
I'm most gratified to have been selected to carry out this important civic duty, my lord.
To have a man's fate in the palm of one's hand. Oh gosh, oh golly, it sends shivers down my spine.
He's like 3 times as wide as character did. Oh my. What is going on here? What? What kind of voice does this guy have?
He's he's a magician.
I know he's a magician. What do magicians sound like? Do you want this, Renu? Do you want this guy?
I'm trying to conjure all the magicians I know in my brain.
2 games worth of her budget just in this case. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah.
Science experiments, magic, conjuring tricks, courtroom trials, all are nothing more than performances.
Just look at this fucking guy.
An experienced scholar that defiles the reputation of science deserves to hang.
We have to listen to what's said on both sides the fence and, then settle on one. That's it, isn't it?
Excuse me? Hello?
Yum, 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 yum.
There appears to be a child in here.
Yum, 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 yum.
She's eating corn.
Yum, 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 yum.
Where did she get the corn from?
It's an infinite supply.
Oh, wasn't like this in my day. Wasn't like this at all.
They really got a full new cast of jurors.
It's,
How nice.
That's the police killer Ottermole look-alike again. And he's exhausted as ever, it seems.
Now, as I'm sure you are all aware, Child of the Corn!
Child of the Corn, singular. Waxwork Man is here. Man, what the fuck?
The incident we are here to judge today tragically took place at the Great Exhibition shortly after its opening.
Though the death toll could have been far worse, with the exception of the victim, no one was killed. Nevertheless, the dream of the science being exhibited rapidly turned into a nightmare for the spectators.
A tragic turn of events, and as such, the eyes of all London, no, of the whole world, will be on this trial. It is our duty to reach a swift and just conclusion, I feel.
All police officers have only one character trait, narcolepsy. Pretty much. All police characters in these games seem to have one trait, which is overworked to fuck.
Yeah, right?
I hesitate to say this, but maybe they should unionize. But given what police unions do in our country, I'm not so sure that's a great idea.
Your opening statement, please, Lord Van Zieks.
At the heart of this incident is technology never before demonstrated anywhere in the world.
One of science's latest developments, I take it. The government is keen to capitalize on the Great Exhibition to improve Britain's technological advantage.
The technology being demonstrated by the accused was described as super high voltage instantaneous kinesis.
Good lord!
It's designed to disassemble human subjects using extremely high voltage electricity and beam them instantly to another location where they are subsequently reassembled.
Is such a thing even within the realms of possibility?
Let's see, what is the Dia voice again? The whole. Well, I don't believe it, that's for sure.
Disassembling people with electricity? My goodness, how shocking!
Oh, the whole idea is absurd. A hypothesis would never stand up to scrutiny.
Sir, I believe you are a fellow of the Royal Society, are you not? An expert in your field?
I am, and my word on the matter can be considered final. Instantaneous kinesis is poppycock.
So this expert and Mr. Sholmes are in agreement. It's impossible.
What is the prosecution's view on the matter?
The prosecution would assert that that is the dumbest shit thing that I've ever heard. That the accused's instantaneous kinesis demonstration was a success.
Oh,
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Here we go.
Oh fuck! Sorry? What a plot twist! What?
We're going there.
What?
We're going there. Order! Order!
The professor's hypothesis is currently under investigation by the British government. If it is deemed to have merit, a substantial research grant would be made available. The accused made use of the invention built on his new hypothesis to take Mr. Asmund's life, in order to be the sole benefactor of the grant.
But
This disastrous demonstration was no accident. It was carefully designed from the outset to end the life of the victim.
Thank you, Lord Van Zieks. The prosecution's stance is clear. But you'll now bring forth witnesses to substantiate your claims.
Gladly, my lord.
Yeah, you think this man has empathy, sympathy, any kind of pathy other than psychopathy? Well, he's taking the cape off early today.
Ooh.
Bailiff, show the first witnesses to the stand. Witnesses, state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard's Homicide Division. I was on duty at the demonstration on the day in question and in charge of the following investigation.
The client's gonna hate when you disprove his invention to save his life. Exactly, it's gonna be so funny.
Albert Hairbrain, the scientist! You were born in England but have been carrying out research in Germany in recent years, correct?
Yes, that's right. After graduating from university here in Britain, I went to work in Germany and made an amazing discovery. Which is what brought me back. I had to demonstrate my incredible hypothesis at the Great Exhibition.
What you demonstrated was incredible, all right. An incredible explosion.
But the science was a success. The instantaneous kinesis worked. Everyone saw it. They must have done. Yes, it was that terrible accident, but the demonstration of my hypothesis was a success.
Well, that much is undeniable, as shown in this photograph taken by the forensic investigation team.
Bro, he looks like he's been shot.
This was taken inside the Crystal Tower, I take it. The centerpiece of the exhibition, no less.
No, he was instantaneously kinesised.
That's right, my lord. Seems the victim rammed straight into it. I see. Very well. Submit the photograph as evidence.
A stab wound to the chest.
As the court heard, the victim of the incident was Mr. Odie Osman. There have been a number of allegations made against the man, but putting them aside for the time being, he was the man who financed the research for the experiment and the demonstration itself. I see. So to summarize the situation, the defendant is accused of taking the life of the man who funded his work. Would that be correct?
Someone instantaneously can use a bullet into his chest. Yep. Or maybe a knife. I'll show you instantaneous kinesis. Ha!
No.
But couldn't it be that the explosion was caused by some malfunction in the apparatus used for the demonstration? That's right. That must be it. My splendid machine. My poor splendid machine.
You saw it yesterday, didn't you? We can't even examine the wreckage thanks to the Special Dispensation for Scientific Equipment Act.
What? The wreckage? The wreckage!
But that being the case, how can the facts be established? How can it possibly be determined whether this was an accident or a deliberate and malicious act?
Extremely simple, my lord.
I beg your pardon?
Isn't that right, witness?
What? Sorry? Me?
No, your neighbor.
Yes, sir. It was murder, plain and simple. Anyone could state that with complete certainty.
What? How can you possibly think that? Guys, can I get an autopsy report?
Thank you, Inspector. I think we had better proceed to formal testimony. You will explain to the court on what grounds you claim this experiment to have been a front for murder.
Wait, I think I got it. I think I found out what instantaneously kinesis a stab wound into his chest. Could it be this crossbow?
It's a mysterious contraption. What do you mean? No one knows what it does.
I was just like, what other evidence do we have? Oh, we have that crossbow.
The corpse that went crashing through the crystal tower had a broken neck. Ooh.
I made a minor miscalculation in the angle of the beam projection, that's
Oh,
all.
jeez.
That was my mistake.
He broke his neck.
Jesus.
But the post-mortem examination revealed another injury, a fatal wound.
How does this work exactly? Like, I know he said beaming, but it seems like he was catapulted.
I know, right? There was a lesion in his chest where he'd clearly been stabbed by something sharp, right in the heart. So the victim was killed before he went anywhere. And this fella's the only one who could have done it.
But we got a lot of witnesses. Let's say that didn't happen.
An extraordinary business. In addition to suffering a broken neck, the victim was stabbed in the heart.
Information I would really like to have heard from someone other than the judge?
The coroner says, The coroner says death would have been all but instant from a wound like that.
You could say, in fact,
Oh my god, he's gonna make the instantaneous kinesis joke.
Let's do it.
that the victim was killed twice by the accused.
Oh, no,
Oh,
never mind.
okay. Right. He's got class, all right.
No, that couldn't be further from the truth. It really was set up like that. I was like, oh, it's coming.
I have here the experiment plan document that was submitted to the security team. The victim stored himself inside something called the bird cage, ready to be beamed instantly.
The real plot twist is going to be when this thing actually works. Poof.
To the second level of the crystal tower, about 25 yards away.
The experiment did not go according to plan, however. As the machine was put into operation, there was a large explosion.
No class, I was.
The blast caused the beam transmitter to point higher than intended. Accordingly, the kinesis resulted in the birdcage materializing in midair,
Ooh.
from where it subsequently fell, crashing through the glass of the crystal tower's large round window.
My word. One assumes the victim's neck was broken upon impact with the tower then.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean for this to happen. The machine was just too powerful. But honestly, really, I swear it was just an accident, a terrible accident.
Unfortunately, that excuse can't save you.
No, not considering the sharp murder weapon that pierced the victim's heart.
Murder weapon? What are you saying?
This is the autopsy report submitted by the coroner. The prosecution would like it entered into the court record.
Your request is granted, counsel.
There's the autopsy report.
Yay.
I was there in person, you know. I saw the whole ludicrous performance. The only other person on the stage with Mr. Asman was that disgraceful excuse for our scientist.
Then really, by all accounts, it must have been him.
Are we gonna get a fucking verdict before the first cross-examination? Oh my
Let's
God.
go.
Hard to think otherwise, really. Secretly, I'm a vampire.
No, there's too many vampires in this courtroom right now. Even the magician had a little like bat brooch.
Very well. Counsel for the defense, proceed with the cross-examination, please.
Oh, yes, my lord. I need to focus here.
Too many vampires. Great Britain is plagued with them.
Sure is.
Mata.
Are you suggesting that's because he fell from a considerable height? Hold on, let's take a look at all this evidence. Let's see. Hemorrhage of a wound to the chest that pierced the heart, inflicted by a sharp implement. Broken vertebra, most likely resulting from impact after a sudden fall from considerable height. Man, he sure is dead.
Exactly, which highlights something else about this whole rum business.
What's that? This murder scenario is the most elaborate double tap. Yeah, what's that?
The fact that the instantaneous kinesis itself was a success.
Ah!
After the explosion, the cage with the fella inside suddenly appeared out of nowhere in midair.
Can you imagine? It's like, I've invented this machine that can instantaneously transport people long distances. I will now use it for murder.
So although the experiment ended in disaster, the so-called instantaneous kinesis did actually occur.
Remind us, Professor, what was the cause of the fatal disaster?
So the angle of projection is critical, is it? And you calculated it yourself, personally? Absolutely. The calculation is far too complicated for anyone but me to carry out.
Only, you got it wrong, didn't you?
Yes, that's right. That's the point. The calculation is so complicated, even I can make a mistake. Do people fall for that brazen confidence? I should try it. Bro, you lie in court. Oh, you bluff in court all the time. You didn't say lie. Took into account the subject's height and weight and the wind direction, the temperature. I considered every possible variable, so I just don't understand how this could have happened. Obviously, then you had to include the weight of the clothes Mr. Asman was wearing at the time, I suppose.
Ah.
Damn it! The answer should have been 3! A little late for that now. So much for safety first. 3 must be for safety third. Another fatal injury, you say? That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't think I'd have to spell this out, but here we go.
We can just dump all that on the floor.
Just because there were 2 fatal wounds doesn't mean I'm saying the victim had 2 lives to lose, does it?
2 right.
Obviously, at first we thought the bloke had died due to his spine snapping in half as well.
But you're saying that's not the case?
You'll get your answer once I finish my fish and chips. If you don't keep butting in every few seconds.
We all know that's a bottomless bag. Oh my god, we're acknowledging it! Oh, it's real!
We're here.
The victim plummeted 30 feet into a glass tower. It would be reasonable to assume that as the cause of death.
Right, that's what we all thought. But it was a red herring, wasn't it?
The defense knew nothing of this crucial information.
The prosecution received this report from the forensic investigation team only this morning. That was the first we knew of it as well. I can only apologize for the impossibility of informing the defense.
Sarcastic and insincere? Thanks. So, what was the nature of this sharp object?
Among the accused's tools that were in use at the demonstration, one is of particular interest. This.
Ah, yes. That would appear to be a screwdriver.
Ah ha ha! There he is. My trusty little companion, Andrew.
Andrew.
Andrew. Of course. Ah, do you know each other already? He's one of my dear friends, like all my tools. I've named them all, you know. We're one big happy family. Andrew is my flathead screwdriver, of course. His brother Michael is a crosshead. It's like some shit Tyler would do.
Well, it would appear that your beloved Andrew has a red stain on his shank.
Ugh, that isn't.
It's blood beyond all reasonable doubt.
Oh, no.
And that's not all. The long, sharp shape of this Andrew fellow is completely consistent with the victim's wound.
Oh, dear. What? Andrew, I can't believe you'd murder someone like this. We've talked about this.
Talked about your murderous tendencies.
Order! Order! The court will enter this friend of the defendant as evidence.
So one of Professor Harebrain's tools is the murder weapon? Great. I've seen this unusually shaped handle before. It's the same screwdriver that was lodged in the grill on the floor of the kinesis machine. What's Michael going to do? You can't go to jail now. Which could be important information, so I should definitely make a note of it. This is blood. Mr. Asmund's no doubt. This is the problem with looking at murder weapons. This seems like a really inconvenient screwdriver. What grounds do you have for saying that?
Ha! Do you really need to ask? There were only 2 people on that public experimentation stage in front of the whole crowd.
The victim, Mr. Odie Asman, and the accused, Professor Harebrain. And we know for certain that before the experiment, the victim was alive.
That's right. I saw him with my own eyes.
Furthermore, following the explosion and kinesis, nobody went anywhere near the body.
In other words, only someone else on stage with the victim could possibly have done it.
Professor Harebrain, do you have some information that may be relevant here? Professor? Sorry. I was just calculating the optimum coefficient of electrolysis. Electrolysis to separate molecules in the human body. And the witness stand is the best place for that? It seemed as though you might have something to say about Inspector Gregson's last remark. Yes, that's right. Of course. He just said that nobody else could have done it, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. Who else could have stabbed the victim, eh?
I don't know, but there's no way that I could possibly have stabbed Mr. Asman, as you say.
Eh?
Explain, please, Professor? Of course, this cold-hearted policeman may not be aware, I suppose. But humans are warm-blooded mammals with blood running continuously through their veins.
I had heard.
Then surely, you see, if I'd plunged something the size of Andrew into the man's chest, the whole stage would have been a bloodbath. No, a blood swimming pool. Huh. But thousands of Londoners were watching me at the time. And yet not one of them claims to have seen a swimming pool of blood.
Well, no, I suppose not.
You see? Not one.
True. I didn't see anything like that.
Well done, Professor. That was a great counter-argument.
Order! Order!
Oop, he's popping out the wine.
Pray forgive the discourtesy if I savor a drop from my hallowed chalice to accompany my old friend's Addising. Here's to you, Albert.
Oh, you're too kind, Barrack. But I'm really not a patch on you.
No, you're not.
No?
You've neglected to mention one crucial possibility.
I have?
A particular situation in which very little bleeding would result from a stab wound.
Ah, of course.
Inspector, enlighten the court, please.
Yes, sir.
Where are they going with this?
Very well. You will amend your formal testimony now, Inspector Gregson. The weapon the victim was stabbed with must have been left in his body whilst he was beamed through the air.
Okay, well, I think I'm actually going to call it here for tonight, just because we have to turn in early so that we can do stuff tomorrow, so that we can eventually, get on a plane.
What?
Early Monday. So,
Come see me.
yeah,
Me.
it's true. I'll be coming to see Renu.
Unfortunately, the AC is busted. So I'm very
Right.
sorry. I figure I might as well tell you now.
Great, thanks.
Look, it's
Good
look.
to hear.
Look, the landlord.
That's all you had to say, Renu. All you had to say
Mhm.
was the landlord. I
Mhm.
believe you.
Mhm.
Unlucky. Well, thank you everybody for coming.
We've been there.
We have been, yeah. All right. See you tomorrow actually for Sheila's stream. Actually, we'll be doing.
Ooh.
Yeah. It's actually on for once, and this time Wikidot isn't going to be down.
Oh.
Hopefully. Yeah, we'll see you then if you're coming to that. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. We should be able to do Ace Attorney next week. I think most likely, unless something happens. But at that point, I will send a message or something. So goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.